was first light enough to see at about 6:23 a.m. this morning. That was exactly 2 hours ago. It's 8:23 now. I know it was first light enough to see at 6:23 because that's when I set out. The temperatures were below freezing then when I left. They're far below freezing now. Not that they've dropped, but because my elevation has risen. If you look square in the center of your screen right now, you'll see it too, and that's why I decided to start recording before I even got to where we're going. It's been leading me there. I'd planned on going there anyway. We're going back to the house, not mine. His, her, it, or theirs. We're going to do something different this time though. This time we're going to ask permission before we enter. I believe permission will be granted. I came to the exact location where it appeared they were, which was a couple hundred yards ahead of me from my point of where I was recording. And this is exactly where I'm standing right now, and I'm getting ready to turn the phone to point a couple of very odd rock formations out to you I've just discovered, as well as the fact that when I look this way, I am in direct sight of the giant boulder outcropping that is shaped like a house, complete with a chimney. That was the point of our final destination. I've been through here before, but I've never come through here at this angle, from this angle, and the only reason I was led to this specific location was because this is where it appeared him, her, it, or they, looked like two of them, were peeking out from behind trees. Tried to get them on camera, couldn't, but I think I got something just as interesting instead. I'm going to flip the phone around now so you can see what I'm seeing right here and right back here. Don't worry, we're going to get real close. And I'll show you the house. Okay guys, we're actually going to start with the house because this is just where the camera happens to be pointing when I flipped the phone. It's up here. It's still a good 100 yards away, straight up the hill. Okay. That's a boulder, guys. It looks like a house from here, but it's actually a boulder right there in the center of the screen. Looks like a giant chimney and fireplace. Now, let me pan around here and show you. Have you ever seen rock outcroppings appear like this in nature, naturally? I haven't. I thought I saw movement. I'll check it later. I want my focus to be these rock outcroppings. I've spent nearly half a century in the forests, in the deserts, in the jungles. Now look at this. It's a giant slab, as if to cover something up so that it cannot be entered or exited perhaps, and then smaller rocks placed on top. These have been placed. These did not appear here naturally. As you can see, these are individual stones. It's not that this was one giant stone and then through years of freezing and thawing just split up and broke apart. That's not the case here. There would be straight lines and they would fit together like a jigsaw puzzle if that were the case. These stones, these big rocks, I'm going to give you some perspective of how big they are. Here I am. I'm 5'10", 175 pounds. Wow. It's as if it was just gingerly laid there. It's about the size, so it's bigger than a basketball. It's bigger than a basketball. I don't want to disturb anything. If I don't know what something is, I don't disturb it. But now if we come over here, there's another one. I don't know if you can tell due to the depth perception of the phone, of the video here, but the distance between one and the other pile is about 12 yards. 12 yards, 15 yards, 12 to 15 yards. It'd be enough for a first down in football, but not enough to be considered a big play. Okay, and here we have another, obviously, deliberately piled stack of rocks. If we look at the surrounding area, sure, there are stones everywhere, but there's so many stones to let us know that this area was not cleared for a field. centuries ago, the homesteaders, the original homesteaders, would gather the stones out of the field like this, out of the forest, to clear the land so they could plant, and they'd pile them up like this. But when that was the case, they took them all, okay? Well, look, there's still plenty of stones around. But two distinct, intentionally piled stacks of stone. Now, they would also use these stones to make the foundations of houses, but this clearly is not a foundation of a home. If we look at the line of travel between one pile down to the other, there clearly was no beams or bases for a home. Guys, I don't want to come right out and say what this potentially could be, but stones were placed like this centuries ago for another reason, and I think you all know exactly what that reason is. And right here between the two, as if on an outline border, we have a giant X. Guys, I don't know exactly what's going on here, nor did we know what was going on last time we were here, but I know this time I'm taking precautions I didn't take last time. Like number one, I left my water in my backpack instead of my back pocket, so it couldn't be taken. There's our watcher again. Secondly, excuse me, while you're getting my 6, I'm getting my 12. I've spent the last couple of days trying to figure out what went wrong with that last venture out here, why all that crazy stuff happened, why it almost seemed as if we weren't wanted. And I think I came down to the reasoning. My conclusion was that I was disrespectful in that I didn't ask permission to be here. I stuck my head in his house without asking. I didn't knock. I didn't make my presence known. So today, before I take another step towards that giant boulder that looks like a house, which is 150 yards above some very interesting looking piles of stones, which we just saw, I'm going to go back to my tried and true and proven research methods that I've developed that so many people laugh at, but I can assure you there's a method to the madness, and this is going to be a blaring example. I'm not crazy. That much. So I've got my potential Bigfoot Sasquatch research kit with me. This is my field kit. I always take it in a giant storage bag when I'm out in the field. Now listen, here's what we did not do last time. We did not make our presence known. We did not say, hey, and this is a couple new research tools you guys may have noticed in recent videos. You know, I'd use the blue rectangles to mean potential, like potentially that's a house. And then of course, the red circle meant definitely, that's definitely a boulder. But a lot of folks have said there's too much room for play inside these shapes, and they suggested I use an arrow of sorts. So I've recently introduced a green arrow. That's the giant boulder that looks like a house where we're eventually going after we use our triangle to announce our presence, to let him, her, it, or they know we are here. We understand we're in their territory, or his or hers, or its. It's only one. We didn't do this last time. How would you feel if somebody walked into your home without knocking? That's exactly what we did. Cost me my hat, cost me my water bottle. So, with this done, I'm going to use the small version of my optics to make sure there's nobody over there waiting on us. I don't see anyone or anything from here. We've announced our presence. My water's in my backpack. Let's proceed. Okay guys, we're actually going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to show you what I see as I see it. So I've got the camera pointing the other direction. There's where we're heading, 35 yards away. Now we want to take note of all of our surroundings. This tree was uprooted, probably by a windstorm. Look how steep that is. We just walked up that hill, and those stone piles we found are way down there in the flat. This looks somewhat interesting. The way these sticks are piled together, this does not look natural to me. This does not look, it's possible. You've got several felled trees right here. But that's interesting. It's almost as if those were placed there that way for a specific reason. Anybody got any ideas about that? So, making our way through here with our eyes on the get closer. I mean, was I wrong or was I wrong? I mean, doesn't that look like a house? It's an obvious tree bend right here in front of the house. So here, just where just the other day, I was sticking my head around the corner there to look and see what's on the other side. And it was as if somebody was standing here. But I would have seen somebody. I would have walked right by them. There's no way anybody could have been here hiding. And it just jerked my hat off my head as I peeked inside here. It's just not possible. This is about as far as I made it. Coming here, and I was looking in here to make sure I wasn't sneaking up on a snake or anything. And that's when the fun started. Okay guys, I stopped recording to make my way around those brambles and through here. But now I've come out, walked through the living room, the kitchen, so to speak, and look at this. Here's the edge. I just felt strange. And look down here. We can see everything. Okay, so guys, I'm sitting where I was just filming and something really freaky is going on with my camera. It's like pausing in the middle of recording, it's stopping, and it's once again telling me the battery is almost dead, even though I came in here with a full charge. We are not alone here. I don't know if you can hear or see anything, but something is causing this camera to act up. This is an Apple iPhone in perfect working condition. But, oh! Guys, I have the weirdest sensation that I'm not safe here and I'm leaving. Guys, these rocks, these tunnels, this whole hive, it's alive. I see it, watch. Guys. There it is. See it? Center of the screen. I've got to get out of here. So guys, I'm almost at the foot of the mountain now. I'm almost home. I feel completely safe here, but I'm not too certain that I've not been followed to this point. Keep getting my 6. That was odd. That is the first time, and for those of you who have been following this saga for some time, you know this. That's the first time I've ever felt so uncomfortable in an area that I've left the area. I don't know how to explain or describe what's going on up there at that place, at that hive. Hey guys, as you can tell from looking behind me here, I've safely made it home. It's 10:35, so that was about a 4-hour trek. And that was one of the most incredible 4-hour treks I've ever had. What happened there with that last scene before this one is called putting the phone in your pocket and running all the way home and recording when you get there. And now that I've made it back, I know a couple of things. I know that I hope I was not followed. Number 2, I don't think that was ever a house. I think we may have discovered the heart of that hive. And thirdly, and you might not want to hear this, but guys, I think I may never go back to that location ever, no matter what you say. Try this, try that, put this there, shine lights in all those holes, all those openings, gift them this, gift them that. Guys, I believe there are places where people just shouldn't go snooping around. And I think we may have just discovered one of those places. Thanks for being here with me while we discovered it. Gave it as close of a look as I feel it's safe to give it. Hope you come back for more next time on the PBS the Potential Bigfoot Sasquatch show here at Homesteading Off the Grid.